We're wild and have geese. Showing the breeze with the wild geese.
Hello. Hi. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
To the pleasure dome. No, for anyone who gets that.
It's us, the wild geese. That's geese with a Z, not geese with an S, because geese with an S, because not zzz.
It's Liza Minnelli.
It's Liza.
Please don't come for us. Copyright. We love you, Liza.
Yeah.
How are you, Brie?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. My crotch hurts a bit, though.
Oh, what's new?
Well, it's not technically my vagina. I'm getting laser tattoo removal. Thank you, Fade, on Grafton Street.
I got a tattoo that she regrets.
Yeah, I got I got a forget-me-not flower beside my vagina because I think I'm hilarious. Forget-me-not.
But it looks more like a primrose because...
It looks more like a fucking pansy on acid.
Forget-me-nots are tiny and this one's huge.
I wanted something really small, no lining. But then when your man drew it out, it was like a back alley in London. I was like young. I was like 20 or something. And I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo because I felt like it. Plus my sister had died. I was going through some shit, you know what I mean? And then like he drew it. And then instead of speaking up for myself and being like, oh no, it's not exactly what I want, I just was like, yeah, that's great. And then he did it. And I was like, oh my
that's
God.
lovely.
Yes,
lovely.
So Irish.
Yeah.
It's like when you get the wrong meal and you're like, it's fine. You're
Yeah.
deathly allergic to it.
Yeah. If I like the most people that die by peanut allergies are Irish people.
yeah. But it's
joke
also
about
like,
that.
do you know when people say hand cut chips?
Oh, yeah.
And then they serve you up like fucking bog standard oven
McCain's
shit.
oven chips or something.
Yeah.
Even though I love them.
And I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to send this back. And they're like, oh no, it's fine actually. They're great. Yeah.
They're hand cut by someone.
Skin on myself.
That's a business. I know. I met a man who has a business making chips. You know, he has a big not hand cut. He does it.
It's half the country.
Well, no, he does.
Makes business making chips.
He, like I said, he cuts chips and sells them to chippers.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? He gets the potatoes. He
hand cuts them.
No, he has a machine.
Oh, well then.
Yeah.
Hand
so he
cut
just
my
works
arse.
the machine and packs them and sends them back off to Supermax and the likes. It's a good business. I'm always looking at interested people in rural Ireland. What do you do How do you make a bit of money?
I pre-cut chips.
Yeah, yes.
I
Imagine
sell
if
them
he
to the
was in
masses.
there hand cutting every one of them, the poor bastard.
Yeah.
That would be a nightmare job. A friend, like worst jobs, peeling potatoes.
Odd jobs. That's coming up later.
Yeah.
in the podcast.
I'll save that.
Talk another bit about.
So my
weird
crotch is
stuff.
a bit sore too because I've been in the gym working out. You know,
I've been in the gym.
in the gym, my guns
Working
are so
on my
sore.
gains.
Yeah.
Gains.
So yeah, shout out to Fly Fit. Give me a free voucher. Cheap gym. I was in the posh gym in Smithfield. It's a bit too. This one is 3 times less the price. Was it 3 times cheaper?
Oh, sweet.
So, but it smells of sweat. But what can you do? You know?
Sure, that's.
You're in and out. You're not in there to
You're not there
socialise.
yeah, you're not in there for a fashion show.
You're in there to just lift some weights and leave. Yeah.
Exactly. But anyway, yeah. So the tattoo.
Yeah.
It was blue and.
Now it's gone.
Well, it's like you never
Almost.
know you're going to get a bad tattoo until you actually get it. Because I remember then, because I do a lot being a burlesque dancer and
Here we go.
a whore. I do a lot of photos and like dancing in my underwear. So the way my underwear cut it, it was like the perfect, like just the two petals coming out the side, 2 blue petals. So it looked like I had a Smurf dick. So it was a Smurf dick tattoo.
Yeah.
And it's just been a nightmare.
Actually, that was appealing to some people. Look at that Smurf dick.
Yeah, I was like, is that a drag
Is
queen
that a little?
with a meaty tuck? But no, I just decided, you know what now? I've a bit of money behind me.
Get
Thanks
it
to your
off.
Dad.
Get it off.
And I'm getting it laser. It hurts like a bitch.
I'd
though.
say so.
Smell of burning flesh.
Well, that's why I don't want to get
Can't
a
be good
tattoo.
for
I
you.
can't be.
I feel like in years down the line, it's going to be like, people who have had laser tattoos now have gills on their feet, do you know, or something like. It's going to be something that's going to come back and bite me or something.
I've never had the
The
draw
ink is
to a
now
tattoo.
seeped into their bloodstream.
Would you ever get another
and
tattoo?
they are
Anything you?
feral. What?
Would you get maybe the wild geese clits?
Would I
in your
fuck?
arm?
I'm
I
not
might.
getting any other fucking tattoo.
I
no
might get them on my
way.
back. Well, just for the crack.
Which back?
Yeah.
Get it
I
on
was
your arse cheek.
with my nephew this morning, and he's always like, you know, he says your butt looks really big in that. He's always commenting on my butt being big in them pants.
I
I'm like,
mean, there's some women that would kill for it.
I know.
Just
So
show 'em.
funny.
Show 'em your butt. It's a fine, thick arse.
Yeah, it's a
No,
banger.
get up now. Do it.
Vanguard is
Work
ours.
for the people. Oh, there we go. Wow. Yeah, a nice bit of VPL there as well. Get into that.
Thank you.
Visible
I
panty
should have
line.
been like a Vanguard. It's true.
Although it should be visible and VNL. Or how do you spell knickers? Do you spell knickers with a K?
Yeah.
Oh,
VK.
God. You
VKL.
could tell I'm a stripper.
So let's comment on our jumpers.
Oh, yes. Get into these. Let's have a zoom in there, Eve. Oh,
This is mine.
wait.
Oh,
Wait.
oh.
This way. Don't start. Don't start. It's very
Mine's gee-eyed. See, her eyes are geese.
This is Kikina art.
Kikina
on
art.
Instagram. Kierna.
Oh, and also I'm
She's
wearing the dirt bird.
unbelievable. Oh yes, and the hat is the dirt bird.
That's what I bought it for last Christmas. Screams
Screams
internally. It's a good one sitting around the Christmas table.
They're brilliant for anybody who can't see. They're very colourful and they're decent and support local, support Irish.
Yeah, they'll be in the market.
Support
There's a
your
couple of
friends.
markets coming up at Christmas. One in the Fumbly. I think both of them are there. But it is
Yeah,
great.
and the Well as well.
The Well is a good
The
one.
Well
yeah.
is great. We do a disco social in there. I've done a drag brunch in there, and
Yeah, but it is good to support your friends, buy their art. We have Growler here on the table too.
yes.
This is some of her prints.
Wait, can you zoom in on me there, Eve? There we go. Can you see Growler?
She's the mother of God.
Yay! Mother of God with
The
her.
Virgin Mary
She's
vagina.
from the Liberties. She's an 82-year-old gee bag, and she is unbelievable.
Yeah, we have had a great. She was one of our lockdown friends, wasn't she? I think we
She
talked to her
was.
before, but we did
Slide into the DMs.
she was on our Stony Banter last Friday there.
We had
Great
a
cabaret.
great weekend. It was jam packed. We had
Yeah.
Stony Banter, our monthly cabaret, on the Friday.
Friday.
We had it on the Friday. And then Growler was there and she absolutely tore the roof down. It was amazing. The women in the back were on fire.
On fire.
The women's pussies were on fire.
Yeah, this one was saying, your show, I just wanted to just go out and take over the world. And she said even her tights burst open or something.
Oh yeah, her
That's
leggings.
her
Yeah.
leggings.
She got on stage, she was very excited, and she had the fanny mask on, and then she just squatted down and just leggings, bang. But there was the perfect hole right near her pussy.
Yeah.
Perfect hole. It's almost like her vagina was trying to burst out. Joe, that's what happens at our shows. Women's vaginas are like trying to climb out of their leggings, like fucking.
Yeah, we had some decent
Godzilla.
crowd there. We had, you know,
Vaginazilla.
like Nessa Finnegan, who's another artist living in Berlin.
Oh,
friends with
yeah,
Growler,
she
she
does-
came with her two mammies. She has a mammy and a step mammy.
Oh,
They're pals, so that's nice.
well, like her OG mom,
Her OG mom and her
stepmom.
stepmom.
They're best pals.
Well, they're
That's
best
great.
pals. They're pals anyway.
Oh, well, that's
They'll come to
good.
Wild Geese Gig and they're coming to the next one too, they say.
Mm.
But it was great. So yeah, it
Nessa
was
Finnegan,
really
She does the bleeding deadly.
the bleeding deadly bags.
and all the cool stuff.
all the tote bags. Yeah, so they're exiled in Berlin. So there's quite a nice connection happening between artists in Berlin and Dublin, like the Cunt Collective perhaps,
Yeah,
and so we're going to maybe do something for Bridget's Day now in the Fumbly Cafe. So yeah, Fumbly Cafe.
and
Lincoln
with
Station.
Kierna as well, Kiki Art. It's like we're creating like the Bonnie Boos of the world, and do you know, like just all these incredible, amazing women all
It's like a
coming
coven.
together. We're creating a coven.
I feel it's intertwined.
We are creating a coven, Aoife.
Be
Get
exciting.
involved.
Be exciting. Well, I mean, next year is definitely going to be exciting. I think Bridget's Day Cabaret.
Damien Dempsey can come too, though.
Yeah, Damo.
he's
Well, we
cool.
know we do want the old male,
Damo's
the,
cool.
the divine male,
Divine masculine.
the divine masculine. It is definitely needed. I mean, Damo's.
We can sacrifice him in the middle of the
Yeah.
cauldron, you know, or just like use his sperm or something.
Yeah, we could all
Just like whip him up.
That's like the good old days when he fucks everyone and we all have his children.
All right.
I don't make him like they used to. That's what an old coven was once upon a time, you know.
Well, or
The Wicca.
cult.
The Wicca used to ride everyone. That's truth. I know. I know
They
one girl who
also-
all has about 75 sisters. Half sisters.
Okay,
I'm telling you, it's
that's
true.
just Ireland in the 80s.
No, this is Wales.
Oh,
There
okay.
was a coven over there. That's the cult of coven. I know.
Also, witches back in
were
the day
witches.
used to dip their broomsticks in acid and put it in their vaginas, and that's how the whole thing of the woman on the broomstick over the moon.
Yeah, she's flying over the moon.
Anytime I see it at a kid's party, I'm like, Did you know?
Yeah, the whole witch climber, and really they're just lying on the ground,
Hmm.
just like, riding the.
But yeah, rise up Mana, guys. Join the coven. Join the witches cult.
So was
Bring
it
your
good?
gee-eyed jumpers and creaky floorboards.
Would you think that like divine masculine's really needed now? Because I think
Ooh.
the young lads are really like a bit lost in the world. I think the women are definitely feeling more and more connected or something. I don't know. That's probably maybe a
It's
generalization.
easier for us, but
It's easier for us to make. I mean, I looked at the market there in the Well. Every single stall was run by a woman.
yeah.
So like,
Because
and
we're
not just
unreal.
because, well, it's unreal, but it's also because there's a kind of an openness to be more creative, I think.
And to be single and to be childless.
yeah.
Becoming more of a thing. And I'm like, let's do it. Do you know what I mean? Because like,
So then men
Growler
become
says-
less necessary, I suppose, for the
Well, technically, but then like we're not necessary to them either in a way, unless they're straight, because then they're fucking horny all the time. They're great. Straight men are great because they're easy to work.
yeah.
But as Growler says though, the divine feminine and the divine masculine don't stand in front of me, don't stand behind me, stand beside me, shoulder to shoulder. Because that's ultimately what it should be.
Just like
Beside each other.
yeah,
intertwined.
side by side.
Hmm.
Yeah, like Jesus and the cross with his
Well-
two mates, side by side.
Well, and then they're sticking vinegar in his side. Weren't it?
Poor old Jesus, yeah.
Poor old Jesus, huh?
They think Jesus is transgender now. That's the new. Some fella came out in Cambridge saying that he had a gash in the side of his thing, so that's a vagina.
Will you
I
stop?
mean, no, it's yeah,
I mean, he could have been.
Well-
They could have been.
potentially because
Oh no, there's nothing to show here. Look at this. There's nothing to show here. Nothing to see here, people.
there's I suppose he's always wearing a kind of a nappy over it. Well, a shroud. Is that what you call it? Over his
Shroud?
shroud.
No, loincloth.
Yeah, loincloth. So
Or
we
just
might
a bit of
know
fabric.
what's down there.
I'm sure he could have been. Anyway, sure he could have been. What harm?
Yeah, I mean, the point is that he was
They
an
could have
enlightened. They could have been. They were an enlightened person, regardless. So what does it matter about gender? Because they're just skeletons now, anyway.
Mm. We're having technical difficulties.
I like Jesus, though.
But it's grand. Sure, we'll take an old break there now from.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but
Yeah, no worries.
click anything in case it you need it.
Are we able to pause or no?
Or you can just keep talking. We can edit it out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about?
Live shows, people. You don't need to be talking
Continuity.
about
Well,
it. Okay, let's just pause, a bit quiet, so we can edit it.
supposed to clap. we also then on Saturday we went to we were late for the housing march, but we went through because we're late because
We were tired.
we're tired and it takes a long time to do anything with two women, with lots of suitcases and.
Shut up. So it's easy for you. You just rock up, put
Yeah.
on your underwear,
I
rock
literally
up.
walk out the door and I'm there. I'll be
I
in
had
5.
to get into a corset
Yeah.
and get into full Molly Malone.
Yeah, that's
attire.
true. That's true.
And then Growler has to put on her big massive
Vagina.
thing, and
Yeah.
the staff and so you just have it very easy. You're
I
still
know.
complaining though.
No, I was the camera
Nah.
person, the cameraman.
Yeah.
Great. No, it was fun, but
So was Kieran.
we
Kieran
just-
really helped us out. Thank you, Kieran.
well, we thought the march would be still in Parnell, and it wasn't. It moved on, so we went through Jarvis Centre, and you couldn't. It was Dovladini. You know Dovladini? Blackwood people, not black people, as in a big crowd of people. There was loads. It was just so full.
Right.
It took us ages to
Like a
get through.
cattle mart.
And then, the march was kind of dismal, really. Not that many people. And where are they? Shopping. That's
Where are
where
the
they
women?
are. Where
Shopping.
are the people of Ireland? And these same people will sit around now in the pubs after this with their pennies bags all around them, giving out about housing crisis, but they can go fuck themselves now. In fairness, do you not think, I'm sick of people moaning and then not doing anything about it? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, that was our thought.
We were late.
As we but we were late, but that's because
But we
it
still
moved
made
like the speed of light. Apparently, that's why. Because there's hardly any bloody big people there.
Yeah.
20,000. That was reported kind of wrong. I think your man was just being sound reporting that in the journal, but the journal is not the best of the journal. Rags out there. What would you call it? Rag?
Ooh.
online
You calling out
rag.
the journal, are you?
Yeah.
What are you saying about
I
the
think
journal?
most journalism in Ireland, apart from Una Mullally, maybe the rest of it's sort of shit, isn't it? No?
I don't read. So, couldn't
You're
tell
better
you.
off. You're better off.
But
No.
yeah, so we decided we're making a music video, which is exciting.
Yeah.
We're making a music video about Molly Malone, and the song is called Molly Malone, Leave My Tits Alone.
Oh.
Because I don't know, some people do know, some people don't, but her tits are worn away from.
Yeah, they're almost
It's a
white.
thing. Everyone likes to pose with Molly Malone's.
It started,
boobs.
a Spanish guy just put it up on TikTok as a kind of a something that he
Well, he
decided
said
to do.
15 years ago, so TikTok didn't exist.
On TikTok, it was some sort of
So
some
might have
sort
been
of social
Facebook
medium,
or
Facebook.
Bebo.
It was a sort of a thing, a meme.
El Bebo.
El Bibo. He's like Bibo, and it just took off. Then after 15 years,
Grabbing her
I thought it was only
Bibos,
5
yeah.
years ago. Really, just yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
so we went
good.
there with Growler and myself, and Breda was pretending to be the tourist, but she didn't even need to pretend because it ended
Yeah.
up, we ended up having
them
to
off.
fight off a few tourists, getting a bit thick with some of them.
yeah, this American. I told you not to do that.
She's like, I'm just trying to get my photo with the tits. And I was like, I'm telling you to not grab them. So there's also that. And then she's like, can you get out of my tit shot? And I'm like, could you not grab her tits? Like, where are we going to end here? Like, we just kept going round in a circle. And then an Irish tour guide, find the video on our Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all that, but it's good crack. But the Irish tour guide showed up and he was like, now I think this woman is protesting. I'm not sure.
And he goes,
he was having great crack.
What did he say though? He said, apparently it's not okay anymore. Or it's something
Yeah,
like that. I said, when was it ever okay? I said to him jokingly, he's like, oh, no, never okay. But then, he did have to maybe talk about that a bit more, why it's just like, and everyone, just the hands all over her. But no, it's bizarre. It's kind of, I guess.
But here's the thing, right? Here's my thing. So I'm kind of torn because on one hand, I feel like Molly would be like, yeah, sure, of course, celebrate my tits. Touch them all day long. They're decent. They're great tits. I'm class. She was also a sex worker, so if they were leaving money at the end of the statue, she'd be like, no worries, touch my tits, leave a bit of money. But on the other hand, it is a bit like, if we really get into the psyche of it, it's like, why is this okay? Why is this okay to grab this woman's breasts? So I'm torn. I really am torn.
mean,
Where
no
one
one's-
side I'm like, tits are great. Let's
You don't see Terry Wogan's
celebrate
arse
them.
worn away in Limerick with his big chipmunk cheeks. Terry Wogan looks like this.
I don't know. I feel
Did you know Terry looked like that in real life?
Limerick just cannot get their bronze statue game on. And also, like,
No, it's the whole country. Did you
What's
see
the
Sonia
name-
and Cove?
What's the name of your man that played Dumbledore?
Oh, Richard Harris.
Richard Harris. They decided to make a statue of him.
As
And
King
we were like,
Arthur.
let's have
Yeah.
a big fucking wizard statue. That would be class, big beard. But no, they were like, let's create him as when he played a role of King Richard.
I know.
So it's just a random king in the middle of Cruiser Street. And it's like, but then like, oh, is that King John, is it? And we're like, no, it is absolutely not a statue for King John, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know, might as well be though.
Do you know what I mean? But that's
No one
obviously
reads
the
the actual
mentality.
plaque.
It's like, no, it'll fit in more now, a statue.
But I wonder
like,
that
why couldn't we have had a wizard statue?
I'd love if you asked the tour guide, did he
So
tell the tourists about Molly Malone being a hooer?
And then also, sorry, just on the thought then as well, there's a random statue down by the docks in Limerick as well of two lads moving a bit of wood. Now I need to look into what it's for. It's for gay rights. No, it is my fuck. It's I don't know. I'll have to. Sorry, I don't know my facts, but
Google it.
it's I don't know, something for working men or whatever.
Probably to
Maybe
do with the
working down by the
shipyard.
docks. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know. But then meanwhile, Sophie Pierce from fucking Newcastle West has nothing, has no statue, and she was like the first of everything.
Yeah.
What was it? She was the first to fly across the English Channel.
Well, she was the first she was first female registered mechanic in the USA. She was the first woman to study agriculture in UCD. That's when she was 80, and then she left Ireland, went over to England, and started the British Women's Athletic Association because she's Anglo-Irish, let's say. But didn't matter that she was Irish. She just literally started the British Women's Athletic Association. She held the first ever record for the high jump and the javelin. So she started like and then she became an aviator. She became
Did she
she-
start like a sports thing, like
well, the
basically female?
The British Women's Athletic Association.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which went on to be in the Olympics, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, she was
So she did all this decent shit, and what did she get? A fucking piece of shit plaque
with her name spelt wrong.
with her name spelled
Yeah.
fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty, and not only that, but she survived. Like her father killed her mother with a stick,
Jesus.
bludgeoned her to death, and then kidnapped her in a basket, and her aunts had to save her. Oh, that's even a story. That's like she should have a film. And
She
she was
should.
raised by her aunts in the square in Newcastle West, and they're like, "You want to be a lady now? So you want to be a lady." Ironically, she was like, "No, I want to be." She was a tomboy. She became, an athlete and all that. And then, she was very, very brave. She just.
Was
but
she lesbian?
I mean, who knows, huh?
Yeah, and as
She likes sports. She liked throwing a few sticks around.
we did the Limerick Lady live podcast.
Yeah, that was great. That was another good thing that happened this week.
Yeah, and we met a historian,
Sharon Slater.
Sharon Slater,
Yeah.
and she's unreal.
She knows
She's
it all.
a lesbian herself, happily married though. Sorry, ladies. In Limerick, and she was teaching us all about Limerick lesbian women through the ages. But it's funny because in the history books they always write it down as like, oh, they were great friends
Yeah.
that lived together. Now we don't know if they were gay or together, but they lived together for 40 years and were good friends. It's like, just call a spade here. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think it needs to really be
it's
said.
the erasing, erasing? Like, do you know
The
what erasing?
erasing of women, and
Erasing sounds
especially
like
around
like a-
the Easter Rising. Like the fact that what was it, Eileen O'Farrell, isn't that her name?
Eileen
Who
O'Farrell.
delivered who surrendered to the British alongside Patrick Pearse,
Mm.
and she was literally airbrushed out of the photograph.
Yeah, you can see the photograph.
And you can see her legs, her little
You
feet.
see her feet at the bottom, but they've airbrushed her out of the photograph.
I just think that's unbelievable. Like, I mean,
Shocking.
and then, there was a couple of snipers and stuff. They're all eliminated. So, yeah. Anyway, but like, yeah, it is about time because Padraig Pearse was a dirty fucking pedo.
Yeah, so is De Valera, dirty
Yeah.
scumbag.
They were scum.
They were dirty.
I have to say, I don't mind saying it out loud. Eamon Devil era. He literally ruined the country.
It was the devil era. Yeah, take off your knickers, ladies. You're not going to need them.
But we had a nice, like we had definitely after the Rising and all that, the Free State, there was a great equality in it. There actually was. But it kind of was in history, De Valera was just part of it. He was just product of his own time as well because, in 1937, all that sort of stuff, they wanted women. Women were really becoming really, obviously, brilliant workers and all.
Yeah,
They're all off
they
with
wanted
the war.
their rights to vote.
Well,
and
they all
wanted
wanted
to work.
this
and
happened after World War One.
we were getting a bit too lippy.
Well, we could be getting a
basically.
bit too productive, is what we were. So they decided that, the women can't be all working now; they have to be having the children. So that's why he wrote that into the Constitution: the women's places in the home. He didn't have to. He could have said, "You know what? It could have actually been we can do both. Men
Yeah.
can also be in the home."
Yeah,
But he's
and
just
some
an
women want to be in
absolute.
the home.
And
that's
I'd say
cool.
him and Archbishop McQuaid were totally right.
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah, he was like, kiss my ring.
Put
He
that
was
on
like, "I'll
record."
fucking kiss your ring any day, Bishop.
That's why I say to my mother, why Fianna Fáil? They had the history, their legacy is so disgusting.
Mm.
I just think
We're getting really political here. Anyway,
we're filth. That's
this
what
is
they are.
definitely not.
Filth.
This is not a man-hating podcast. I'd like to say that this is like we.
We don't
love,
hate men.
I love
I,
men.
I like decent men.
I love my
I
father.
hate wankers.
Well, it's just we're just more so just unpacking the misogyny, and even though like, why do I have to explain myself? Do you know what I mean? Talk
Well, I
shit
think-
if I want.
It's all right because I mean it is the Minot, like Rise Up Minot, that is happening. It's in
Yeah,
the
coven, dude.
stars.
That's what I
The
said.
coven, like 100 years
Bring
later,
the witchy women together.
the witchy women.
Bring
so-
back more red tents as well. Like Kitty McGuire is phenomenal for getting the red tents going, and the Fumbly Cafe do great events in there as well, where it's like period focused yoga and red tents and apparently pole dancing became a thing from red tents.
Oh yeah.
Like from
The
women.
middle of the tent was a pole.
Yeah, the middle of the tent was a pole, and the women would get together and fucking just have the crack, be sliding their blood up and down the pole, having great crack. Do you know what I mean? Painting the walls.
I
Huh?
love that. There is a woman that she does art by. I saw an art piece once. She sticks eggs of paint up her gooch and then squeezes them out on a blank piece of paper, and that's she sells her art that way. She pops them out like squat and pop, bang onto the blank. Yeah,
That's hot.
yeah,
Egg vaginal paint.
yeah, we could look her up.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Sounds delicious.
sounds great. Do you want to sing a little tiny bit of Molly?
Oh yeah, we
See if
could
I
do.
remember the chorus, because this is a ukulele now, not
This
an
will
old
be in the
guitar.
music video. Yeah.
Just do one verse. Your
okay.
favorite verse.
In Dublin. Oh wait, where's my note?
In Dublin's
Fair city, where the girls are so pretty, there lives a bronze statue of Molly Malone. The tourists flock to go see her. Her story they don't even read it. Was she an entrepreneur or just a plain whore? She's an idol-I-O, an idol-I-O. Selling fish or her fanny, she's an idol-I-O. And there's a few others, but I'll go to my favorite verse.
Yeah.
Why do we condone? No, sorry. This type of behavior's outdated.
Do it again.
This behavior's outdated. There's no one swinging off the cock of the statue of David. You're lucky she's made of bronze, or your jaw would be gone.
Gone.
Something about
Why do we condone?
she's wearing a corset.
Oh, she's-
That means she's asking for it. She's an
just
idol-I-O. She's an idol-I-O. An idol-I-O. Leave her tits. Oh,
It's Molly Malone, leave the tits well alone.
yay!
Yeah.
Leave her tits
Better on the
well
chair.
alone. So that's coming out. Keep an eye on that on the YouTubes,
On the YouTube.
Instagram, TikTok, etc.
So odd jobs for you. Odd jobs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is there anything else about your week? No, it's a good week. I've been much
Great
better.
week. Make sure to listen to the Limerick Lady podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Well. Emma Langford.
Emma Langford and Anne Blake, another good
absolute
lesbian.
Decent Limerick lesbians. Well,
Who sent
Emma's
me an
a
ADHD. She sent me an ADHD test,
oh yeah.
and I got 96%.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, I am not shocked. You heard it here
so-
first. So whenever I refer to her as having ADHD, sorry, someone's trying to get into the room. That's the ghost of
Granny
De Valera
upstairs.
there now.
There's De Valera. He's trying to come back.
The ghost of
Yeah.
De Valera is trying
Sorry,
to
De Valera. But what was I saying? My ADHD. So
yeah, 96%. So when I refer to her as having ADHD and getting frustrated with it, you can now say,
but now you'll have to maybe understand that I am.
maybe we should pause
Yeah.
here now. I don't know if we can pause. Sorry,
yeah.
this is that was the landlord trying to unlock the door to give in a letter, huh?
Straight
I
in.
was thinking the postman had a key to his house. I was like, Jesus, they're very close.
But
I wouldn't mind if the DPD man had a key to my house.
I bet you would.
It's fucking all right, you know.
There's a couple. What if
Every
it's
now
the
and
wrong
again, I'd
lad,
be
though?
looking at ordering stuff online. I'm like, oh, I hope it comes by DPD.
DPT.
Deep dick, pussy dick. That's what it stands for. Put cock in fanny.
Knob in
Put
fanny.
knob. What's that in? Extras.
Extras, yeah.
Face.
Yeah, so Anne has sent me this thing that if I'm interested, there's a group, we can talk about it more. Maybe, what's the word? Oh, when you
Mentally ill?
well, no, when you take something apart, discuss it, I guess.
Unpack it.
Unpack it, thank you.
Okay.
Such a yank. When you unpack it.
Anyway, yeah. Speaking of yanks, so
Yeah.
this brings us to our next segment about
Bing bong.
odd jobs.
Odd-
Bing bong, not bing bong. I'm sure we'll create
ODD
something.
jobs. ODD.
No.
ODD jobs.
No, I don't like that one.
Why-
I
You say odd jobs. Odd
No, I
jobs.
said
do
Oh my god.
do do.
I'm sure we'll make something.
Okay, I'm sure we will. Yeah, that'll be out next year.
Shut up. Oh yeah, and all the editing you do. Should me need for
Oh.
fucking run ragged. What you be doing?
I do
What
be.
editing do you be doing?
I do
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
do the driving.
Yeah. You make the odd busy post on an Instagram story. That's what you do. Huh?
ODDJOBS.
So being artist, we always have, and I'm sure any listeners who are creatives or artists or performers or do any kind of work as such have been in strange situations and weird gigs that you find yourself in. And the one I was going to talk about today was when I worked in Bunratty Castle, Bunratty.
Bunratty.
I was a singing waitress. You know, I dress up in all the gear and, you know, sing and serve mead and wine.
I was going to go there, remember at that time.
Big jugs, you know.
Big jugs, yeah.
Big juggies.
COVID stopped that.
And I will say it was so much fun. It was a great place to work. Like, management are dicks, but the people that work there are incredible. When
Hear
say
that? I know you're
management,
listening.
I mean, one particular person.
Say
But,
her name.
No, how do you know it was a woman? Huh?
I know it is.
Yeah.
Bad managers are always women.
Bitch. Anyway, it's all good.
That's my
I'm
even
fine.
Devon coming out there.
Yeah, look at me now, huh? But all good. No, it's fine. Women support women. I support women. Can't say same for others, but anyway. But the people that work there are so talented. They're so much fun. They're such great crack. Like, they're just incredible. Like, they've musicians, they've singers, and there's acting involved as well. Like, they're just great. And it was a great place to work. But the Yanks, sorry, is that a derogatory term? The Americans. The Americans.
Well, the Americans that travel, they're very demanding.
Well, it was always like big tour groups of like kind of rich, older,
conservative
Americans. Yeah, like the type that might
rich
be
ones, yeah.
Trump supporters. I'm not sure, but they always had like, you know, big fanny pack and like, why did they build a castle so close to the motorway? You know what I mean? It's just like this kind of energy. But I used to love how like we would have the start of the banquet would start upstairs, like up this really windy, tall staircase.
An original cast at Norman Tower House.
Yeah, and
what year was it built?
Oh Jesus, I couldn't tell you. Oh God, I used to know.
Probably.
I could tell you all about the fucking drawers and presses inside it. The dowry was a wedding gift. I forget the script now. Can't remember.
We'll edit that in. If I get to Google it there. Go on, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's cut that because it's yeah. Look how big my hands look.
Well hung.
Go on. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, anyway.
That's one of the things they did.
This is what happens.
You interrupt people.
This is what happens.
Look at your hand.
I'm such an attentive listener then.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so she's like crawling out of her skin.
No, it's good.
To have to listen to someone.
No, listen, it's a good story. Heard it before, but
you're the one who told me to tell it.
I'm joking.
Anyway, so it would start upstairs, and like a lot of the tourists, they wouldn't hear us when we'd say, "Look, you don't have to go upstairs. Like the banquet's downstairs." But they would go up, you know, thinking that's where they had to be. And you'd get up there and you'd be standing there with like goblets of mead, you know, it's this like really sweet wine. It's not my thing, but it's like a honey induced wine.
Yeah.
It's a dessert wine. And that's a Grease quote. And so they'd come up, you know, and they'd be fucking puffing and panting, holding on to the doorway, and they'd be like, why don't you guys get an elevator put in here? And we're like, I don't know what you mean, my lady. They're like, oh, don't give me that theatrical crap. You know what I'm saying? We were like, an elevator? I don't know. I used to love playing dumb then.
Yeah.
So, do you have an elevator or like any ranch sauce? And I'm like, I don't know what you mean, my lady. Or it's like, you don't sell any Guinness here? It's just wine, I'm afraid. I don't know of this black witch drink you speak of. But anyway, so they'd come up and they'd be ranting and raving. You'd be like, a cup of mead? They're like, you don't have any water? Or fucking straight whiskey? And you'd be like, just sweet wine, I'm afraid. And they'd be like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that crap. And then like you serve like these bowls. They call it the bite of friendship.
Yeah.
It's like bowls of pieces of brown bread and salt. Because back in our time, salt was a very expensive commodity and only served to the most noble of guests.
Indeed.
And I used to say that to them. And then I'd be like, but we'll make an exception for you this evening. And they were like, But then like it would be the bowl of white. And they were like, "What's that? Salt? Oh my god, I thought it was ranch." You know, imagine dipping brown bread into ranch. But anyway, imagine dipping brown bread into salt. So gross. And then like the Irish people that you'd come up to, they'd be like, "Brown bread and salt." They'd be like, one fella was like, "Brown bread and salt. This must be a new thing." And I was like, "Actually, it's a very old thing." Do you know what I mean? Like, so funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I could tell you stories for days about Bunratty, but
It's so funny. I
I'll
love
tell you that little snippet for now.
The little, Bunratty is.
I love the dresses though. It looks really like kind of, tits
Yeah, I'm
up,
pretty sure it's
little veil,
I think
headband.
sure it was built in
Get
the
down there and see the sexy
1700s.
chicks.
Yeah, well, I mean,
1500s, isn't it? 15th century?
no, I can't.
It's very much
Maybe it was actually.
it was built and then
1500s,
burnt to the
15th
ground and then
century,
built
yeah.
again.
You're right, because the Normans came in the 1100s, so surely they built a castle or two. Maybe it's the 30s.
Very much
I
of
just
a
not.
defense-
We need Sharon Slater. Sharon.
yeah.
Sheridan. We need Sheridan.
I should know anyway. I was there.
But Bunratty was, but you put it out of your mind because you were fired.
I was not fired. My contract was not renewed because they found out I was a lady of the castle by day and a whore by night. Joking.
My contract wasn't renewed. I had my odd job was also a tour in the tourist industry. I was a team leader going around bringing 30 Yanks in a bus around Ireland. Now I loved it. Like I did three tours one summer. Second tour was great. 30 of them going around. Really, we go 18 days. That was I was killing it. It was brilliant.
I bet you're a great tour. guide.
It was very fun. Yeah, it was fun. The last tour I did, I shouldn't have taken it. First of all, because I'd just been broken up with it. I wasn't in a good place.
Oh.
And it was a 9-day tour, which means these Yanks are more demanding because Yanks only get 2 weeks holidays in the whole year.
Right.
So they really put all of their eggs in this one basket.
Right.
And they pay, quite a bit. Like this is like, an all expenses paid trips. You get hotels because they're staying in these hotels, 3-course meals. They're like most of the time they were absolutely stuffed, me included. I was like, I could do without this dessert and maybe we'll go to something. But I made a little pit stop here and there, like St. Bridget's Well and Liscannor. They loved that little extra one, but I was like, oh, please none of them fall off the bus. No insurance. It's not on the programme. I was like, stay up there, ma'am. But I'll carry you. But this one woman, I'll just tell you, so I got there to the Falls Hotel down in Innistimon, and it was a dare. That's where I met her first because it's three nights. 3 in Adair, 3 in Stymon, 3 up in Dublin, yeah. And I knew because they said there's a woman there before. There's a couple that have been there already. They've been there a day ahead. So that's how I knew, because you get to know them quickly. There's a big group, 18. It's hard to get, a couple of days. Yeah, okay. So when you leave, you go to the desk and you say any other business, and they said actually there's one of your tour group didn't pay for. There's an outstanding bill for the wine on the first night. I was like, oh yeah, that must be your one that stayed the extra. Okay, so I just looked to my left and there was her husband. And I was like, oh, do you want to just cover this bill? Do that. And he's like, you remember the story on Feist? People might do that. It's a story in Irish we did in the Leaving Cert, where it's very, and Feist is a worm. And it's very like...
Oh, you're allowed.
Yeah, well, it's true. And there was a big dominating woman and she had a wormy little husband and she's bossing around. And it was kind of a story about bullying. But... she was just like that. He was like, well, my wife usually has, she's the wallet and things. Oh, Jesus. I was like, okay. And me and the manager, I was giving the, right, I'll go. And there I had to go back in the bus. This is a smaller bus than usual. Can I just say now, not being fat shaming here, but this woman had arse the size of Texas. She was from Texas. The widest load, so anyway, so bad enough I'd come over into the bus, tap her and say, sorry, ma'am, can you just go in and sort out the bill inside? She started, the steam started to rise. She's already,
oh God,
God damn it. And she just got up and next thing she's, knocking people's elbows because her arse is the width of the fucking bus. Knocking people's elbows, drinks, coming down like a ton of bricks down the thing into the hotel. And she came in and the manager's there and the receptionist, himself, the husband, and this is what she did, right? She's like, she said, I'm so fucking embarrassed.
Sorry to the listeners there.
But literally she punched the desk with such a force. I don't know how she didn't break her hand. And like, we were all like, literally stunned. So fucking embarrassed. She got off the bus in front of my fucking peers to pay goddamn, what is this goddamn bill? What is it? Like screaming her head off.
Jesus.
To the point where your man she made such commotion that he just let her off.
No.
Let her off. He said, just listen,
Oh,
you know
sure,
what?
that was the plan.
It was only the bottle of wine. Don't worry, go on yourself. And
no way.
and I was like, okay, and now I knew one to watch, Psycho.
Okay.
And she, oh my God, she like so.
No
the
mental
next,
health shaming there now for.
sorry,
terms like-
she just as in now this woman is a judge or so she said. She had 2 daughters that were gay, kept showing me photos of them and all this. She's trying to put buddy up to me the whole time. She was really manipulative. Anyway, and then she'd be like really sick.
Got the
It's
wave there, Aoife, yeah? 5 minutes, jeez, we're flying.
We'll have to do
Self-care.
self-care. So I'll just fit it. And long story short is that she was a pay in my hole and tipped me a big $100 bill at the end
Mm.
and then wrote on a forum and got me fired. She basically got me fired. She said the tour guide reeked of alcohol. Twice.
Which I'm sure she
Which-
did.
Yeah, but it was my day off. And just because she never left the
Oh.
hotel because she just was such a...
Oh, that's lousy.
Yeah, she really did.
She got you fired.
Yeah, because they wouldn't take me back.
she
because if
tipped you 100 quid
Yeah,
and
she-
then got you fired.
Because she
Bitch.
probably wrote on to form that she be a big on the public forum, big complaint about
Right.
the program, about the company, about all that. And because she said the word alcohol, reeking of alcohol, you know, in America you might as well be a heroin addict.
Right.
In Ireland, like everyone reeks of alcohol. That's just our daily life. But you know, it's
Not me.
yeah. Well, you know,
5 years sober.
a lot of people
But I
would say
did.
you come in on a Monday morning
lot
and
of
you're
times,
hungover, no one gives a
yeah.
shit. But like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they just didn't ask me back, and I was like, God damn you, bitch. So I suppose the good thing about it, maybe she saw potential in me and wasting my time being a team leader going around Ireland, which wasn't that well paid, I'll have to say. And
Aw.
and then when of the day you were let go and I was let go, and that was 2018. Then we met and we decided to.
Yeah, well, my contract wasn't renewed. Okay,
My
That's a
contract wasn't
different-
renewed either.
I was let
wasn't
go.
sa-
I was let go.
wasn't- Yeah, me too.
Either way you
admit
spin it. She just didn't like me. But anyway,
Well,
I started taking the piss as well because I knew that
I think
they
your
didn't
one
want
was
me
very
there anymore.
disappointed.
And fuck it, here I am now living my best.
Well, here I am now too.
Because
Yeah.
we then decided to go on tour, and this
Exactly. I did like the old tour guide.
How are you in yourself? How are you in yourself? How are you in yourself? We're talking about your mental health.
I didn't have to say. We'll talk next about
We
odd
got
jobs,
some
but
old flyers here where at our last show, you guys have written again the self-care. Self-care is, so we're getting back to our what Ireland believes self-care is.
yeah. So here we go.
Self-care is to eat so many chocolate until you get better. Weak.
Self care is swimming in the sea and lolling on the nudist beach with my darling.
On the nudist bitch.
On the
Who's
nudist
she?
beach with
Oh,
with
yeah.
my darling. And I said, no, there isn't a nudist beach. Is there in Ireland? Apparently there is. Someone told me.
Really?
Yeah. She's like, oh, there is a
In
nudist beach.
Achill, isn't it?
Somewhere in Dublin.
Oh, cool.
Where is the nudist beach in Dublin? But nudist beach in Ireland, everyone would be just freezing and shriveled. You know?
Yeah,
Imagine.
yeah.
Yeah,
Riddled with Catholic
those-
shame. Self-care, it'd just be covered with priests. Anyway, self-care is squirting.
That's Laura's.
I can relate to that.
Self care is playing with my pussy, cat.
Self-care is not going for drinks with my male colleagues and instead going to a feminist comedy cabaret. I think that was written by the one guy that was in the audience that night.
Yeah,
What a legend.
legend. Self care is a Netflix binge, fucking the government,
Oh,
fucking the government fucking the government out.
okay. The person put the pen in their
No, but
arse
it's just
and then
out,
decided
yeah.
to write it.
Oh, I know what it is. Fucking the government out, like fucking them out.
Fucking them out of it.
Rear. It is
Oh,
true.
fuck them out.
It is time for them to leave. And smoking weed in Tenerife and my care.
Smoking weed in Tenerife. What a legend. They must be from Limerick. Self-care is living, loving, laughing. Say it with me.
Gay. Self care is playing with my dog. My dog.
Self-care is when your comedy partner doesn't have ADHD.
Oh.
I read that one.
I know you
That
did,
was
didn't
funny.
you?
It was funny to have it come out on stage because I made Breda read it on stage.
And I did think, someone.
But now you've done the
knows you.
test. Now you've done the
How
test.
are you in yourself? ADHD.
How
Oh,
are
yeah,
you
in
in
yourself.
yourself?
What could you do for ADHD?
How are you
In
in
yourself.
yourself? We're talking about your mental health. Right, will we leave it there?
Yeah, because we can save some more. But
Yeah.
And genuinely
Great,
though,
guys. Thank you for letting us know what you believe self-care is. Slide into our Instagram DMs anytime. Self-care is... ...
What's your self-care?
I mean, it's the same like all the others. The Holy Trinity. Masturbation, hygiene, and good food.
Really?
But genuinely, I think knowing when to take alone time, knowing when to say no to gigs, and knowing when you want to be around people.
It's true.
Knowing when to tell you to go home and sleep in your own bed.
I do sleep in my own bed. I made a nut roast yesterday.
Oh my God, the fucking nut roast.
Oh my
We've been
God.
hearing
Like,
about it for
I
months.
live with a vegan, it's great and all, but like, geez,
She was covered in flour and nuts. She was spent so long on this fucking
So
nut
long.
roast. And then it basically was brown bread and mushroom sauce. And now she's telling my friend Joe, she's like, yeah, I have dinner ready. And I'm like, stop trying to pawn your fucking nut roast.
No, it is nice
off of my
though,
friend.
but it just took so long, and it's just eaten in 10 minutes. I said to your man in the shop, be just as easy to put on a slice of bacon. No, beef. I would eat beef before bacon, but
Yeah, throw on a few steaks.
I can't wait to go home for Thursday now. Daddy's going to have a steak.
Daddy.
But no, but just in terms of ADHD for people listening, we're not making fun of her or anything like that, because I genuinely would think that it's time for me to look into it. But what?
Go on.
It's about, I mean, that one thing that's still saying in it about admitting
Okay.
that you have, and then, but then again, like, I wouldn't take Ritalin, I wouldn't take
You
medication.
don't have to take anything for
But
it,
what
darling.
are you supposed to do then?
I don't know. Go to a therapist. Coping mechanisms, coping strategies that work with the traits of ADHD.
I go to a therapist now. Should I tell him?
Yeah, maybe he has some ideas of what to do, to like, oh, I forget things all the time. Well, people with ADHD find this helpful, or they find this helpful, or this is a technique that's helpful. I feel like everyone should go to counseling. Go to counseling, go to therapy, go onto My Mind, get yourself some sessions, because counseling and therapy is like going to the dentist. If you don't do it for your whole life, you're going to have some rot.
Yeah,
You're going to have cavities of the brain. And just some, parts that need cleaning out every now and again.
I find it just...
I've been going all the time, constantly. Well, now I go whenever I can. But there was a time there after my serious grief that I went once a week. And it was...
Are we just talking?
Yeah. Saved my life. Thank you,
Huh.
Martina. I should say her name. Thank you,
I just find like
Marion.
talking about yourself kind of embarrassing or something.
Yeah, but you're not...
I don't know.
It's not like really... You're talking about the issues, the problems, the mental health things, the anxiety, and they're trained professionals to then tell you, oh yeah, we've studied this. This is because of this. This is the chemical reaction it induces. Here are some coping strategies that have been scientifically proven to work.
He did say one thing about being unsettled.
But no, you rather just settle it all, keep it all in, push it all down until one day you freak out and throw your dog into the river.
You kick my dog.
You kick my dog.
No, but I would say that yeah, I do get it when let's say my brother died when I was 16, the whole world changed.
We got 5 minutes here.
I know, but just say that he did say that.
Mm.
That the world is very unsettled. I was wondering, why can I settle down? If I settle down, if I did this and that and the other, I'd settle down. If I got this, that and that. But I feel more settled now than I ever have been. I actually don't want to run away anymore. I usually every couple of months want to go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it. I do like Stony Batter, so it's proving.
So the world became very unsettled for a 16-year-old you. Absolutely, it would.
Yeah. So I guess that's what he did say, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So don't, this is, it's not that you're.
So you're an unsettled person.
Well, yeah, I was
unsettled. ADHD unsettled as well.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of, maybe the grief caused the ADHD or something, or maybe
well, it maybe just exasperates it.
Exasperated.
Definitely have ants in your pants.
Thank you.
And on that note, why don't you show everyone? But we're kind of just there at time there, Brie.
Yeah, that's fine. But the session's over, is it?
Yeah, that's 60 quid for an hour. And an extra tenner you can grab a tit. The left one though.
What's wrong with the right one?
Nothing. She just costs more.
Why?
I don't know. It's my favorite one.
Is it?
No, sorry, I don't play favorites.
Do you have a favorite tit?
I don't play favorites. No. Don't start.
Don't start.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, and
the absolute ledge bags. And we'll be back again.
We'll be back
with some more weirdo feminist rants,
Yes, and
non-man hating because we love men.
we do love men. I think it goes without saying. I love my
shouldn't have
dead
to
brother.
explain myself either.
Love my
Say what I
father.
want.
Love at least
Love
two
my
of my
dead brother.
uncles.
Sorry.
You know, so and my dead brother-in-law too. Oh.
Oh, honey, that's for another podcast.
I like talk to dead people. I prefer dead people sometimes. Okay, sorry. Okay, that's that then.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening.